Oh, YouTube or whoever you're watching this, I gotta stop saying just YouTube because maybe I'll go viral and hit up every platform on the planet and like tickety tockety and whatever. Hey YouTube, how are you? I'm Taylor. Welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I got a bunch of free stuff. I'm talking about some free stuff. So let's get into it. This book is sponsored by all of my local LCSs I hit up. It actually kind of is because today I'm talking about free comic book day books. And they're free to consumer, right? But they're not free to comic shops. Comic shops have to pay, I think, a quarter a piece is like kind of my understanding is how it works. So, you know, if you bought or if you went and picked up free comic books from your local LCS, hopefully you bought some stuff from them too by the LCS means local comic shop. So if you're not, whatever. Anyways, buy stuff. Support your local comic shop. If not, don't just go there and grab free books. Otherwise, you're a dick. So don't be a dick. And no, that's not the end of the video. I know. I'll say it again at the end. I'll repeat the message so you get it. I'm going to do this sort of the same way I do my weekly comic book reviews, though. Worst to best, but I'm going to try and be a kinder, gentler worst to best today. Maybe. Because I didn't buy these. So I picked up books I would not normally read. And some of the LCSs I hit up in shops said, hey, there's a restriction and you can buy this much. Or you get this many free, but then if you want more, you have to buy more. So I bought some more to get a few more. And then one of the shops was like, no, you can grab as many as you want, as long as you read them. So thank you, Red Hammer in Appleton. I grabbed a lot, and a lot of these are from your store. And I read them, and I appreciate it. And thank you for the great deals on some of the back issues I got, too. So a weird, funky little store that even if you're in Wisconsin, you probably have never heard of. But give them a shot, give them a whirl. They're good guys. So, just to start off, Rent a Girlfriend. Hang on. Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend. This is a manga, which I will fully admit is not normally my wheelhouse. I don't really generally tend to care for them from what I've seen. The reading from in my head back to front just kind of throws me off, and I'm never sure which way to read even the page. And the artwork is simple enough in here and stuff that I had an okay time following along. But it's about a girl that went to a coffee shop and freaked out because I didn't have her favorite donut. Now I can relate. I'm a chubby guy. I like my donuts. It's just this book didn't do it for me. So, all right. Then we have Zom 100. This is another manga. What was this one about? Honestly, I don't remember what this one was about. I read a lot of books, so I got to fill this one out and see. Again, I even put them in the boards and bags thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is about... what is this about? A guy that doesn't want to go to work, and the world gets infected by zombies, and so he's happy to have the day off, and then there's a demon somehow. It's kind of a confusing story. But it was entertaining enough. It's just kind of, again, not for me. And obviously, it didn't really make a big impression, because I forgot all about it. So, and then we have the Valiant 2021 sampler pack. The Ninjak was written by Jeff Parker, but the art, I can't remember who did the art. The art just really didn't seem to fit, and I think these are all just kind of snippets of existing issues. It's what it read like anyway, so I was a little bit lost. Maybe not. Maybe The Harbinger is an upcoming one. I don't know. Valiant keeps trying to reboot their shit and keeps trying to make it interesting, and it never seems to stick or work. They have all these licensed properties, and I'm sure they would like to actually do something with them, but nobody seems to give a rat's ass, and this is probably not going to help give a rat's ass. So, the Unfinished Corner. This is kind of an interesting one. It's a book about Jewish school kids that get taken away to a fantasy land where there's an angel that wants them to do something. I don't want to spoil it, but it's an interesting enough book. The art was kind of simple. It's meant for kids, I think, or young adults, whatever. It's okay. It's not bad. I would never have picked it up normally, and I'm probably never going to pick it up again. It's just not my wheelhouse. So, all right. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures. I dropped this title to buy it, and this is not enough to get me to pick it back up. The High Republic Adventures is better than the High Republic generally, but it's still just not that interesting to me. Like the characters they've created aren't that compelling, and it's always sort of like the young Padawan is brash, but the Jedi is gonna like either the Padawan's gonna end up being right or the Jedi is gonna end up like admonishing them, and it's just kind of it can be a better romp than just teacher-student relationships, I guess. So, whatever. The art's still pretty solid, though, and the art I think is better, especially in the back half of this one. The back half is a regular artist on High Republic Adventures. Can't remember who that is. So, Trailer Park, get a fucking comic book. Okay, again, I probably would not have picked this one up regularly because I don't find the Trailer Park show to be funny, and I don't find the comic to be funny either. The sort of interesting thing is like it's like a mini anthology in here with a bunch of little stories done by different creative teams, and it kind of it's an interesting enough idea, I guess. Like of taking the Trailer Park Boys and doing an anthology series of it, because I know they actually have a comic book out now, but it's just kind of I don't know. It's just a bizarre thing, and it's like seems like a one joke thing that's gone on forever, and I just don't get the joke. All right, Street Fighter Back to School special. I don't think this is technically a manga, but it seems very manga inspired. It's digitally drawn, I'm almost positive, and it's not bad. It's like these schools are all trying to recruit these girls for their upcoming season, and they all happen to be street fighting schools. So the art's interesting. The story is just it reminds me of a kind of crappy cartoon, but If you dig Street Fighter, you might like this. There's a lot of characters I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure they're in some version of the game, or maybe, or whatever, but I don't know who any of them were, and I didn't really care. All right. Yeah, here we go. Beast Boy Loves Raven. Apparently, DC has been doing these series of like young adult graphic novels that are not in continuity or anything, and just use their licensed characters and sort of tell their own stories. And this is a snippet from one of them. It's decent enough. Hopefully it brings in more folks to reading comics, and hopefully their graphic novel are working. Because I think they're maybe trying to hit things like Barnes & Noble or traditional bookstores instead of comic shops. I'm not going to follow up on it, but it may not awful by any means. The art's fairly straightforward and simple. The character interpretations I kind of mostly got. There's a little bit of confusion between Raven and her friend sometimes in here, but it was okay. And here we go. School for Extraterrestrial Girls. We're getting so like from here on out. There's at least some interesting elements of all these, and this, I think, is a continuation of something that I have not read. A school for the way it's set up is like this is year 2 or 3 of a school, and they give you a lot of recap as far as what happened to sort of catch you up. They're all aliens, they're all girls, and they're all in school, and it's an interesting enough concept. It's not quite nailing it for me. I wouldn't read it again, but like we're starting to get into like that's kind of at least it's kind of fun. So art's fairly solid. The inter-school dynamics. If you like Strange Academy, you might like this. It's better than Teen Titans Academy. That's not saying much, but like yeah, there you go. School for Extraterrestrial Girls. Sorry, words are hard, folks. And here we go. Going again. Star Wars. High Republic, The Edge of Balance. Now this is like a manga telling of a story. And this actually is a little bit more interesting than what's been going on in the regular High Republic book. But it's black and white. I think they flipped it around and made it Americanized. So some of the panels are a little bit funny that way. I believe it was really written in Japanese, but I could be wrong. So if you guys know, let me know. But yeah, this is better than the High Republic book, at least. So, yeah, all right, yeah. This is Garth Ennis being Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson drawing boobies. It's The Boys, Herogasm. I'm pretty sure it's a reprinting of something already. I don't really know. The title sounds familiar. I did not read this series. Garth Ennis, I could take him in small little doses. I think The Boys, the series, the TV show is much more entertaining and much better than the comic. The comic just sort of strikes me as really one note and really kind of like over the top crude humor. It's sort of what The Preacher and everything else kind of devolved into, and it seems like whatever he's working on, it just devolves into this. I mean, it's still interesting enough. Like Garth Ennis can write when he wants to, and there's a little bit in here where it's like that's kind of interesting, but it's just I don't know, whatever. Trez. This is gonna be a Netflix animated series apparently. and it's about like a character that helps solve murders. And I can't remember all the specifics on this one either, but I remember not hating it. And it's another manga, which means I probably put it in backwards. Did I? No, I think they flipped it around. Yeah, they flipped it around. Yeah, it's a demon hunter that, well, sort of a supernatural hunter that calls on these spirits to sort of help out, and it's nice because it doesn't have the American sensibilities of like all demons are necessarily bad and stuff. It's more like the people are kind of dicks, and yeah, this spirit keeps trying to like make bargains to help out people, and this just Treze has to deal with the consequences of that. So interesting enough. Again, I'm not gonna pick up the issues. I might check out the anime when it comes out, just because if it's well done, it might actually be a pretty interesting watch. So, well, yeah. See, I'm being kind and gentler today, right? Maybe, I don't know. Dungeon is back. Apparently, Dungeon was a thing. I'd never heard of it before. Doesn't mean much. This is sort of if you like the D&D kind of books or any of that kind of stuff, you'll probably like this. Even though it's not necessarily D&D, these characters are all in it. And I don't know who the hell they are. You sort of learn a little bit of some of them. The weird duck-looking guy has a sword that can do something. The other cat lady is his girlfriend and pregnant. And the lizard guy is trying to make sweet, sweet love to a lizard lady. It's funny. It's interesting enough drawing. It's pretty dense. Like, for a free book, you get quite a bit in here. It's not strictly just humor either. There's enough action in here to be entertaining, and this is something like I might actually pick up a trade paperback of this. I don't let the cover fool you. Like the type and stuff makes it look like it's real, like D&D-y, but it's more like Penny Arcade-ish, a little bit like maybe a little bit more just kind of fun adventure, if that makes sense. So, all right, Black and Cal Exit. I've not read Black and I've not read Cal Exit, but they're both really interesting premises, and they give you a pretty good idea of what's going on with the country, especially, or in the universes, especially the Cal Exit book. The Cal Exit back half does a pretty good job of setting it up. The Black one, they kind of throw you right in. I have a little bit of an idea of what already is happening in the main story universe, at least. So that might help your enjoyment more if you know that. But they're both still pretty decent teasers. You're not going to get full stories out of it, but it's a decent teaser. Batman, the free comic book day version. Your first look at Fear State, and I am Batman. I don't know if there's anything new in this. I don't think so. I think they pulled from an upcoming issue of Batman for this. Maybe not. Maybe it's like something that's not going to be in there. Jorge Jimenez's art is fantastic in the first half. And the second half artist, who I can't remember, for I Am Batman is still solid. Tynion is still set up his, like, Joker, not Joker, the Scarecrow War, whatever the hell you want to call it, and the Fear State. So it's like a setup for this. If you know what's going on in the current Batman titles, it'll probably help. You might be able to get enough of it in here without it. The I Am Batman does an okay job. This is like before the what's his face? Fox became Batman. Or Lucius Fox, whatever. No, Lucius Fox, it doesn't matter. Not bad. All right. Spider-Man and Venom. This is the previews of who's going to be taking over both of these titles. And I actually liked the Spider-Man better than the Venom, which is a little bit surprising because like Ron V wrote the Venom story, and I really generally like Ron V stuff. Maybe it's just I don't give a rat's ass about Eddie Brock. I mean, I tried, people. I was inundated with Venom all throughout 2020. And this, I thought, oh, they're going to do Venom's kid? Spoilers a little bit. It's not Dylan in here. It's Eddie. Meanwhile, it's Ben Reilly in the Spider-Man. And it's Zeb Wells, who is doing, I think, Hellions. And I really like Hellions. And I'm interested enough to see his take on Spider-Man. It might be enough to get me to pick back up the Spider-Man once issue 75 hits, which is going to be like 18 years from now, because Nick Spencer is like going on for like 64.3.827 issue. Like, he's just expanding out his crap for fucking ever. Please go away, Nick. Please. But the Ben Reilly story, not bad. Actually, you know, the Al Ewing. Oh, Al Ewing around. And Al Ewing's the other writer on the Venom. We'll see. I might pick up the first issue or two and give it a shot. And this is enough where I'm like, okay. But I just was hoping it wouldn't be Eddie. Honestly, I was hoping to be something else. So here we go. The Avengers and the Hulk. Okay, the Avengers. They're really trying to make you care about Jason Aaron's Avengers. And Jason Aaron's been hit or miss for me. I dropped the Avengers. because it's boring. Now this arc that they have in here, again, almost interesting enough that I would pick it back up, but maybe. And then the Hulk, okay, it's Donny Cates running the Hulk. Like it's Donny Cates running the Hulk. Like it's not going to be at all the Immortal Hulk. It's not Al Ewing. Like this is a pretty clear thing that even though, yeah, they're like. I don't know. I'll pick it up. I'll pick up the issue of 2. I might pick up the Avengers. I'll pick up the first issue of the Hulk just to see. But again, not bad. It's just kind of like, it's definitely Donny Cates on the Hulk. That's all I can really say without spoiling a whole lot on that one. All right, Suicide Squad King Shark. I think this is interesting. Like, the Suicide Squad, the King Shark in the movie is not quite the same as King Shark in the comics. It's a different interpretation of the character. But I like the idea of a King Shark series, and Tim Seeley's writing on it. It was good enough that I probably will at least check it out. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to give it, but I will check it out. It's King Shark in prison, Suicide Squad, with another person. It's Amanda Waller's in there. It's got some Suicide Squad elements. And then the back half is just pages lifted from the first issue of Suicide Squad, Get Joker. I really like that first issue, but just get the first issue. So, all right, here we go. Judge Dredd, Free Comic Book Day. Okay, I don't know if not a lot of people have read Judge Dredd. I've not read a lot of it, but I do know that it started off as a parody or a cautionary tale against fascism, right? But I think the people now have sort of taken Judge Dredd as a positive character, which is not really the case. The movies kind of made the character look positive. This comic does a pretty decent job of letting you know that it's like, this is a cautionary tale, folks. It's a cautionary tale. Pretty entertaining. There's 3 little stories in here. I think 3, maybe more. There's like 3 complete little short stories in here that are not bad. So, House of Slaughter, right? That's how you pronounce it. Slaughter. House of Slaughter. End of the House of Slaughter. I think I'm not caught up on Something Is Killing the Children. I know, blah, blah. I'll get there, people. I think everything in here is lifted straight out of there, just repurposed. I think the pages I do remember, it seems maybe it's a retelling. I don't think so. I think it's just pages that are maybe repurposed and put together a little bit differently from the B story. And this is the end of the House of Slaughter. Apparently, this is a hot one to pick up. There might have been a first appearance. I don't know. Whatever. It's an entertaining enough thing, though. I mean, it's still. It feels a little cobbled together, but Tynan still can tell a decent story, and Werther Dell'Edera art does fit it. It seems a little bright. I might have a different colorist in here, maybe not, but it just seems a little bit too bright for me. But yeah, House of Slaughter. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if I just like if you're up to date on Something to Kill the Children. If I'm wrong about this, I'm not hating it. I will pick up this House of Slaughter book when it comes out. For a couple of reasons. I'm not an idiot. I'll buy a couple of copies and sell them to all you suckers on eBay for $400 6 months later. Or whatnot. All right, Stray Dogs. Pretty sure the second half of this book is just the Stray Dogs first issue. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. Maybe again it's a little bit different retelling, but I think it's just. I read it, but it's been like 6 months or so. But I'm pretty sure that the last half of the book is just that. I think the first half. So if you've not been able to get it, find the free copy because don't pay $100, just go get the free one. You'll have the whole story. In the first half, actually, you'll have more because there's an intro. I think an intro of another dog here and how the dog ends up on the Stray Dog house. I don't want to spoil Stray Dogs for everybody, but there is a couple page intro that is new. So not bad. All right, I'm trying to get this a little bit faster than my other ones, even though I have a giant stack of books too. Red Room by Ed Piskor. This is just. Okay, Red Room is an anthology dark web horror story where each issue is separate, right? This is a bunch of little mini stories that take place in there, mostly, I think, in the quote-unquote continuity, although the last issue, which is the most fun, featuring Juniper, or possibly named something else, is not probably part of that universe, technically. If you like Red Room, you'll like this. If you like gross out, over-the-top weirdo humor, you'll like this. Very well drawn. And the only thing this is super nitpicky, but it just feels like this book should be on newsprint and not a coated paper. Like the coated paper just feels wrong with that Piskor stuff. It always has, and I think it probably always will. So It belongs on at least some kind of maybe not newsprint, but uncoated paper at the very least. So, yeah, Red Room. All right, we've got a couple left. Bountiful Garden #1 by Mad Cave. I think this is a complete issue. And it's a solid enough, entertaining issue. It's a deep space sci-fi. The crew wakes up way too early, which is kind of happens in every deep space sci-fi like mission. But it's told interestingly enough. There's enough like twists here on the planet they land and stuff that like I'm gonna pick up this first series. I like the art for the most part. Some of the faces are a little bit blocky and seem kind of hurried to me. But otherwise, the painterly style works for me. The characterizations actually work for me too, and I thought it was decent. You could sort of see this being like a B tier sci-fi series. That's not a knock. I mean, I still like those B tier sci-fi series, but it just has that feel to it. Like if you were going to convert this to a TV show, you're like, yeah, okay, it's not going to be a big budget one, but it's still it's got some premise to it. It's interesting. And I'd say give it a whirl if you can find it. If not, pick up the first issue. Give them some money. All right, We Live the Last Days. This came real close to making the top of my list. It's a prequel. It's a full issue for the most part prequel of We Live, and it sort of explains the choices. It explains like how the setup happened in We Live, and a lot of that. And it was really effectively done. If you liked We Live, you'll like this. If you can find this, I'd say get it, and then try and hunt down either at least a paperback of We Live, because We Live's gotten prohibitively expensive too for a lot of collectors that don't spec on books and just want to read it. But I like that one a lot. And last and not least, and the unexpected weird ass end of this all is Tales of a Grown-Up Nothing. When I first opened this, I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be one of those books that I'm going to really dislike. But it is weird. It is very weirdly drawn. It has some definitely adult humor in it. And there are 2 or 3 page little vignettes. But I really like this. I really, really did. It was very enjoyable. It's by Elizabeth Pick. Not sure if I'm pronouncing the name right. And I'm guessing not a lot of people pick this one up on Free Comic Book Day, because like a lot of places do limit the books you can get. Well, like it's an adult book with there's dildo pancake humor in it. Not those are 2 different things, but they interact. So I don't want to spoil this one, but yeah, if you like indie art, like indie, not like the new version of indie, which is just mainstream superhero crap that's like repurposed and creator owned, but actual indie stuff. Go hunt down Tales of a Grown-Up Nothing. So there you have it, folks. Yeah, I actually, truth be told, there's a few more over there I did not get around to reading. I just kind of got exhausted today. It's been a long day. I read all these today. A lot of them are fairly quick reads because they are teasers. They're not meant to, like, for the most part, be complete. Although there were some complete ones in here, and there's some gems. It's just kind of like, the whole point of the Free Comic Book Day is to get you into the comic books and spend money at the comic book shops. It's to help keep the comic book shops alive. So go keep comic book shops alive, people. Keep hope alive. Bob Hope. He died, right? Or I don't know. Maybe? Didn't he? Who cares? All right. That's all I got. Yeah. Don't just go get free books. I know I said at the beginning. I'm going to say it again in the end. Don't be a dick. Go spend some money at your shops. See ya.